All right, what's poppin'? What's poppin'? We're here with my dude Rashidi from RKT Appraisals. What's going on? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's good? What's good? What's good? So Kevin's not gonna be with us today, but we're gonna rock out with Rashidi. So today we're talking about how student loan debt affects your pockets. Man, this is a topic that I feel like a lot of people could relate to because, you know, man, niggas is in debt. You feel what I'm saying? So how bad is it, Rashidi? Give us the bad news, and then give us the bad news.
I mean, the truth is you know, deciding to go to college is serious business. You know, the truth is, the minute you decide to go to college and actually sign on that first dotted line,
right,
it will impact you forever. The reason why is that once you start taking out student loans and things of that nature, you know, you have to pay that debt. Unlike other types of debts, you know, after 7 years, they kind of let it go, but kind of linger. But student loans, they don't play any games. If you have that debt, you have to pay that debt. Like, you know, it's one of those things where whatever's going on in your life, they go based on your income.
Right.
So it's one of those things where, you know, if you're doing a lot better and you're making $70K a year, your student loan payments might be $400 or $500 a month. So even though you're doing better financially, you're stuck with a close to $500 payment a month, which is crazy.
Wow.
And you can't not pay it. They give you chances to defer, push it out 6 months, things of that nature, but it's only but so long you can push it out. And if you run into certain situations and you don't pay it and you try to avoid them, they will garnish your wages. Meaning take your money out of IRS, meaning you file your taxes, everything's good on paper, and when you go to get your deposit or your receipt, you see 0, 0.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
So you know, today's topic is really just, you know, taking college serious. If you really want to go to college, it's not a game anymore. You got to really think about it. Like, you know, do I want to go to college? Do I want to go to college for this? Because it's going to be with you for life until that debt is done. Not to mention the interest that's on that student loan. And let's be honest, the average person takes 30 years to pay off a student loan. So that's like buying a house. That's how serious student loans are.
Damn.
So that's my thing, is just really just, before you jump into going to college and getting rushed to go to college, I get it. You want to get an education. It is great, you know, but you really want to take it serious as far as, even if you're 18, 19, do I really want to do this? And if I do this, maybe I should go to like a community college, or look in your state where some states let you go to school for free as far as they waive it. Check financial aid if you get free government help with grants and things of that nature.
Right.
But please don't jump into student loan debt willy-nilly. And on top of that, it's on your credit report all day showing as another debt that you have to pay back. So,
so hold on. So you saying that it could get to a point where if you working, they'll automatically take some of it out of your check?
Yes.
Wow,
yeah, that's absolutely
crazy.
I mean, I'll give you a personal story. You know, I always got a lot of personal stories, man. I mean, this was 2016 or 2017. You know, this is right around the time when I was getting my life together. Thought I was doing my thing, whatever the case is. And there's another point about student loan debts, because it's a bunch of different separate loans for different semesters and things like that. You actually have to keep track of each particular loan. I bring that up for this example is because, like I said, I thought I was doing my thing, getting my life together. I thought I had all my student loan debts all in order. Turned out it's one of my student loans that I missed that was separate from Navient and Sally Mae, or whatever the case is. And so I didn't know about it. So they had an outdated address, because let's be honest, you know, I'm a grown man. My address from when I first started college was like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So they were sending information, wrong information, with wrong place. Long story short, my carelessness too, but long story short, I thought I lined everything up. But there's one loan I forgot about to set up a payment plan with. And the reason why this sticks out for me is this was my biggest tax year at the time. I was getting back $4,752. I never forget it. I was hyped. I was like, oh, I'm getting paid. 0. They garnished my wages because it was a student loan debt. So they took my IRS.
So how much they took out of your shit?
They took my whole IRS check.
Oh, wow.
I didn't get my taxes back.
That's crazy.
They took the whole thing because this was a particular loan that was worth $15,000.
And
so what they do is when you don't respond, they take everything.
They took the whole $4,000.
Everything.
Damn,
everything.
Son.
Everything. There's nothing I could do about it. I was hit.
You thought he was about to be balling out here. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy because the thing is that like, you know, because you know, some people they're like, okay, they're going to college because they feel like, well, I got to go to college because I'm trying to get this degree and I need the money to get this. So I need the loan, but then it sort of keeps you in this like in this trap. So then kind of like what's like a good strategy for a person who actually, I guess, would like need to go do they find a cheaper college, like you said, like a community college, or is there like some sort of way that they could get the loan and pay it back to where they don't got to pay damn near 30 years or they don't got to, it won't be some shit where they taking it out the IRS or, you know what I'm saying? Like what's the strategies for these folks? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the true strategies is really just whoever's involved taking it serious. I mean, it starts with whoever your guardian is, your parent is, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when you're young, they base all the information about your guardian, so your parents, your mother or your father, or both, whoever's legally responsible for you.
Right.
So a lot of times they based all that money on what that person makes, et cetera, et cetera. So if you make under a certain amount, you get financial aid. So financial aid is grant money that they siphon through the cities and the states where it's free money to a certain extent where you don't have to pay it out. So what happens is a lot of times is that it's the misconception. People like, oh, it's free money. But if it runs out and you're not paying attention and they pull you in as a student to the office to get another loan, that's how it starts accumulating it. And before you know it, you're in $60,000, $70,000 in debt, not realizing it. So the truth is, like Goldie said, is just really just going to junior college, community college. But even before you go to the step of going to the junior college or community college, you really got to ask yourself, do I really want to go to college? And you got this is for the young 18, 19-year-olds having that uncomfortable conversation. Like, listen, mom and dad, I'm grown. I know you want me to go to college, and you saying all this nonsense. If you live in my house, you need to go to college, blah, blah, blah. But this is really everybody looking at each other and being real. Like, this is a lot of money, just having those conversations, because student loans follow you forever. What makes it not worse, but the truth is that once you decide to start to go to college, even if you don't finish, it still affects you. So even if you go to college, you only spend $10,000, it still affects you, because guess what? Now you have now identified as an educated person. So that means that if you go to college for a year and a half, it only costs you $15,000. Still a lot of money, but you know, not crazy compared to what people really have debt, college student loan debts. But say you got $15,000 in debt, you're like, 15,000, boom, I knocked it out in 5-6 years. Guess what? You have kids, and you now go to college. You have kids, and your kids want to go to college because you're now considered an educated person. You went to some college. You actually don't get all the benefits of getting a lot of free financial aid and things like that. That's how deep it affects you. Nobody talks about that stuff. So that's another angle to bring up on top of that.
Damn,
if that makes sense.
That's wild, man. So damn, that's fucked up. So let's say a person wants to go to college. Would you suggest them to, because you know before we was talking about like credit cards and stuff, would you suggest them to use credit cards instead of using a student loan, or does it matter? It's still like is it like the same thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it better to use like credit cards to buy books and pay for shit and do all that other stuff and pay for class?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Reason being is though, because the catch with the credit cards, you got to pay that back way faster than the student loans.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so that just puts you in immediate debt and immediate trouble.
Because they ain't got no paper, so that's why they getting the loans. That's right.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. Like I said, like college can be good if you're going for a certain field. You're definitely going to stay in that field. Right. You know what I mean? The main thing about this is just really telling people like the wishy-washy business is not a good look. You know, if you know, and even Goldie, I think Goldie put in the comments before where it's just like, oh, if you're rich, but even if you're rich, it doesn't make sense to do that because you're literally throwing money away. Reason why is like if you know you're a kid that you don't want to go to college, you just gotta have that conversation with your peeps. Like, I don't want to go to college. And if you're that parent, you got to be like, hey, am I going to throw my money away on this? Because I'm going to be tied to this student loan too. I know he's wishy-washy already. He had a C+ average already. Not that that's bad. You know what I mean? Do I really want to send this kid to college with this? and then next year he say he don't even want to do this and change his major, and then change a major again and prolong and push it out. So my advice is just really just talking it through, doing research. It's 2021. You know, a lot of states offer, even New York City, they offer where they waive your college as long as you stay a resident in New York. I think 5 years or something like to that effect. They'll waive some of your college fees and things like that. You know, you got financial aid. There's so many programs, but it's just about the start of the process where you just gotta really figure out if you need to go to college. And to our point from earlier on, one of our earlier podcasts when we talked about doing trades, that's why it's actually better to do trades, because all that stuff doesn't happen with trades. You go and get a trade, it's a specialized field. It's literally, you know, a tenth of the cost of what a real university costs. And you're a dying breed. You know what I mean? Painters, mechanics, they get paid top dollar. They don't have any student loan debt, and they get paid more than the person that probably went to college for 4, 8, 10 years.
Right.
So, you know, that's my take on it.
Especially right now, because since the you know, there was that boom in the housing market. A lot of people are renovating and upgrading their houses. A lot of people need, you know, flooring and painting and all that contracting, all that type of shit is like every motherfucker I know that do painting, flooring, sheetrock, any type of contracting on houses, they are super busy right now. Every last one of them. I don't know, not one that's sitting on their ass right now. Not one.
That's great. That's
think about the auto body shops when you buy a car. They make money. A lot of these body shops charge like $100. The dealerships charge $150 an hour to work on your car. So that means if you got a little headlight that you need to put in, you know, if you're a female, you might be a little cute, and he might cut you a break and charge you half the price to put it in for that hour. But $150 to put a little light bulb in certain places, like mechanics and these specialized fields, it's not a game. We don't pay attention to it. You know, you may look at the guy at the counter or the people in the back, like, they making money. They making money.
Facts.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So when because you're saying that some people might end up having to pay like 30 years and shit, right?
Correct.
Like that. So I know a lot of people like to just pay the minimum, you know what I'm saying? Just to like be like, okay, well, I'm paying it off. But isn't that, would you say that's kind of like not good? Because, you know, it's gonna basically increase the interest, and then they're gonna be paying like, you know, more than they even borrowed, right? Because if you're paying only a certain amount, you're not going to be able to pay it all off, and then the interest is going to keep rising, which is going to make them pay even more, which is kind of like how they make the companies make money off the interest. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Correct. Right. That's an excellent point, Mr. Lecard. To be honest with you, you know, the average time it takes someone to pay off student loan. First of all, the average student loan debt is $100K for a bachelor's degree. It's $100K, and the average it takes people to pay that off is 40 years. Jeez. So because of that concept, the student loans is one of those things where it's mentally, that's the one, I don't know if I want to say loophole from a mental standpoint, where people like, that's the one thing where I'm just going to try to pay as little bit as I can, because if you think about it, if you finally making a little bit of money and you got to pay a $400 payment, because $400 is equivalent to about a $6,000 raise. Right. So you know what I mean? So that money you lose back. So people try to do everything that way possible. That people, you know, lie, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do to lower that payment. But that's the one field where people do everything in their power to pay the most lowest amount. Because if you really tell them how much you make and all that, and I'm not telling people not to say how much you make. I'm not telling people, but I'm just saying that if they know how much you're making, they're gonna be like, wait, you can afford X amount of. There's people out here paying $700-800 payments a month for student loans. Like it's not a game out of it. It's not a game out of it.
Could you? I couldn't even imagine that. Like, because I feel like even if I'm making like, you know, 10 G's a month, I still don't want to pay $800 for no damn loans. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, because it's crazy. But it's like, I think you know, at the time when you're in school and you're doing it, you're not really thinking about. It. I think it should be a thing where people got to teach people how to think about that from the jump. And understand what that means. That's going to be later on, so that they can make a better decision at that point. Because at that point, you just like, fuck it, give me the money. I'm trying to make what I'm trying to. Because I remember when I was in college, that was how I was looking at it. Where I was like, look, I need some money. They're gonna give me some paper. Fuck it, keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Let's happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like I remember trying to get more money, and I couldn't get some more money at a certain time. But I was like, you know, but after a while, you see shit, man. Like when you got to pay that back, that's crazy. Like you said, 40 years. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So basically, people end up spending the rest of their entire life, you could say, paying back a student loan.
No, this is no exaggeration. This is no exaggeration. This is, you know what I mean? Like this is the thing about it. Like Goldie said in the comments, I see his comment right there. Like with college, it is beneficial if you're going in a specific field that you research what they actually pay you and you stick with that field.
Right.
So if you are unsure at any shape or form that you might not do this job, it's not going to benefit you. That's why they literally say, and it's a real statistic, 70% of people that get a bachelor's degree do not do any work in that particular field. So that means 10 people that go to college to be, say, a basic psychologist, a basic psychologist on a bachelor's degree level. You can't really get far with that in that field, but whatever. You know what I mean? 7 out of 10 of those people will never have anything to do with psychology for a job. So you now have potentially wasted, depending on the school you went to, from $30,000 to $100,000 to go get a degree in a field that you're not actually using or utilizing the benefits. Reason why I say that, it's still good to have the degree, but if the average person only makes about $40,000 coming out of college with a bachelor's degree, and that's just enough to say you're not on poverty level. You just made it a smidget to make it say you're not over poverty level. Like that's crazy. You know what I mean? 100,000 to make 40,000. It's not an even. It's not an even scale.
That's crazy though. You know what I mean? See, I feel like we're in the wrong business. Like, how do you get into this? Let niggas pay you back, because I'm like, shit. Like, that's a crazy hustle. Because all these people that need to pay me back for the rest of their life. That's why.
That's right. Because you graduate at age what, 24, 25? No, you
graduate 20. If you go right out 22ish,
22ish, right?
Yeah.
So 40 years paying the shit back. You damn near ready to retire.
Right. Exactly.
And so what you do about the money for retirement?
No, but that's exactly it. That's why I say the average is about 40 years. So right when you just about retire, you just finished paying off your student loan debt. And then that's when you retire, and then you have your Social Security, and your Social Security ain't that much. And so that's why people at age 65, 67 are on such a tight budget, because you couldn't really save anything because you was paying back the student loans and everything else that happened in life. Right. And then you finally got the break, and it's like, damn, I only got $1,000 a month in Social Security. You know what I mean? Like, now you on a budget. That's why you hear a lot of elderly people. And it's not funny, but you hear a lot of old people saying, I don't have no money. They really don't have no money. Like, they really on a budget. That extra $30 to do something simple, throw them off, because they on a tight budget. You know what I mean?
Right.
Damn. That's crazy though, because I'm like, it's almost like, okay, you go to school to get the education or whatever it is to get the job, and then you got to pay back all that money you did for education while you're doing the job, and then you get old as fuck, and then you retire, and then you ain't got no money. It's like, the game is so cold out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn.
It's ice cold, man. It's ice cold, man.
Crazy. Like, how people do that? Like, it's just weird, because my thing is that I feel like a lot of people got to be more educated on this, because I think that will also sort of dictate where people will go in what they do. Because sometimes, like, you have some people that have a desire to do a certain type of job, and they're going to do that job or that type of field regardless of what it costs. But they want to be in that thing. Then you got people who are like, well, I just want to get a job that's going to make me some money. Right. So then I think if people are like, well, I know that I'm going to have to take out this amount of loan to get this job, and then it's going to equal me paying back this and all that other stuff, they might think twice about the fields they're going in. Just like you were saying, where you're like, well, if unless you're sure you're going to do this, with it, because then you're going to be paying back a loan from something you're not even doing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's a big fucking scam, man.
Right.
No, it is.
Scam.
It is.
I want guys to know that the ones who, the guys who are like age, 16, 17 and have a really good idea of what they want to do with their life, like you really don't know how lucky you are.
Right.
Like when you really understand what you want to do with your life, when you say to yourself, man, I want to be, whatever, I want to be a doctor, and you start, because the fact is, when you decide what you want to be, you can start working towards that.
Mm-hmm.
And the younger you can start working towards it, the better, because now you won't make a fucking $100,000 mistake.
Right.
If you actually do go to college, at the very least, you know what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So even though you going into debt, at least when you're done, you'll be in the field that you want to be in, at least. You understand? Mm-hmm. And if it is something like a doctor, more than likely you'll be able to pay off your student loans fairly quickly. You know what I'm saying? If you budget and pay off some of the principals and every month and shit like that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is knowing what you want to do. And then again, like we was talking about with the skilled trades, and on top of that too, for example, you have a lot of people that go to school and get like a computer science degree.
Right.
And then they end up in IT, and that's cool. But check this out. You could have went and just paid a finite amount for an 18-month certification course. You could have started your IT career. And if you really wanted to, then go back to school. Right. And now that you're actually making money as an IT, technician or whatever the fuck you're doing. Right.
Right.
You can actually pay. You can pay per semester.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can pay per class. Like if you go in and you take night classes, or you can check with your job that you already have and say, listen, I ain't trying to do all that prerequisite shit. What classes do I really need to make me marketable for this job and for this field? And then you can literally go take the classes that you actually need. Mm-hmm. You understand? Like that's what, you see, the thing is, what a lot of us do, we follow the paradigm of the average American, which is finish high school, go to college, get married, 2.5 kids, picket fence. And it's all of that shit is just a formula for debt.
Right.
I'm saying the true strategy is try your best to figure out what you want to do and be strategic about educating yourself to get into that field as early as possible. Mm-hmm. Because when you're in that, because see, the fucked up part about college is that most college students, they go to school, they spend a whole bunch of money on books and classes that they don't need, and dorms. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Meanwhile, if they do get a job, it's usually some bullshit like fast food job, or you get a job in the office at the school, and that's barely enough money to fucking allow you to survive, much less try to pay back student loans. So what they do, they say, hey, while you're here, while you're a student, let's push back your student loans. Mm-hmm. So now the only experience you're getting is working in the bursar office, or working in, at some position in the school, or fast food, or some waiter shit, some waiter job or some shit like that, or working at Walmart or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So that's 4 years you're behind. Right. While there's another person who said to themselves, well, I'm trying to be a computer scientist, or I'm trying to do some IT shit, or I'm trying to be a coder, or a software developer. Let me go straight to the technical school and get a certification. And with that certification, I can get an entry level job where I can begin making 35 to maybe 45,000 right now at age 18. Right. So I got my certification. I got an entry level job. Not to mention, I'm building up experience. And let's be clear, that's what jobs really, really pay for. They pay for experience. That's why a lot of motherfuckers come out of college with a bachelor's or a master's, but you've been sitting on your ass for the last 4 to 6 years, not doing anything. Right. Even though you have a degree, I'm gonna pay this kid more than you because he's 19, 20 with a certification and 2 years of experience, 3 years of experience. You're 4 years older than him, and you have a degree, but you have absolutely no experience. Right. You understand? And let's be clear, these colleges, another thing about these colleges, I mean, I think they're getting better because technology is ramping up. But a lot of these colleges, the shit that they're actually teaching you, a lot of the times it's outdated for your own field. Right. Mm-hmm. They're only teaching you the curriculum that they've been teaching for the last 5 years. Meanwhile, inside the industry, they've already upgraded to new programming languages and new, data collection processes and all of this different shit. So by the time you're like, oh yeah, well, I got my bachelor's in computer science, I'm ready for the world now. And then you can only use maybe 30% of the shit you learned in school.
Right.
You understand? So that's why they pay you less than the fucking entry level nigga. Because you're older than the entry level nigga, and you're older than him. You have less experience. You understand what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the entry level nigga got 2-3 years up on you. That's why niggas get degrees and then they go into a job and a fucking 19-20-year-old is their supervisor.
Right.
And they can't figure it out. They're like, what the fuck happened? But see, that's the thing. A lot of of course you got to study hard and all that other shit. But a lot of motherfuckers, they misconceptualize, or it's kind of like they fall for the game of what they call the college experience. That shit is it used to be a thing like way back in the day, back when it only took one income to maintain a household.
Right.
Nowadays that shit don't work, bro. You can't be sitting on your ass, bro. You really can't be sitting on your ass. Cause Lucario, you know me. I fucking got specialized knowledge, and I was always like, I was in corporate America while I was going to school. So while I was going to school, I was paying my fucking tuition per semester. You understand? So when I was done with school was done with me. I ain't had no Fannie Mae, no Sally Mae, I ain't had no bitch trying to follow me. When I was done with school was done with me. They said I dropped out and they sent me my last check for my last bill for that semester. I paid that shit off because I already had a job where I was making like $28,000 at age 19. You understand? I was making good money at age 19. I ain't had no kids, no wife, and I had roommates. Right. You understand? So I was only paying a fraction of the rent, and I was stacking my fucking bread. So any shit that happened, boom. You see what I'm saying? I was good.
Right.
But that's the difference between the person that wants that college experience because they want to, look, I understand you want to go away, you want to get in the dorms, you want to go to parties, you want to fuck frat girls and all this other, you want to fuck the sorority chicks and join the frats. And I get it. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do that, or if your family is rich enough to sustain that kind of shit where you can sit on your ass for 4 to 6 years, that's cool. But for the average person, especially from our community, it makes more sense for you to figure out what you're trying to do, or at least figure out something that you like. Fuck it. If it's not what you're trying to do for the rest of your life, find something that you like. Cause that's what I did. You understand? Because what I was doing then, I don't want to do for the rest of my life, but it's something that I enjoy doing. I got certified in it. And I was already making good entry level money, that the same money that a fucking bachelor degree would have been making. I was doing that at age 19, 20. I was building my experience, and every couple of years I would get a raise and shit like that. And I switched a couple of jobs and got raises. You get what I'm saying? So I'm making bachelor's and master's money in my early 20s when niggas is just coming out of college at 24 looking for work and coming in and asking me how to do shit. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, the answer to it is find something you like, try to get certified in it. So you only have to pay like a finite amount of money. Like, you have ITT or these different like certification schools or these online courses where it's like a 12 to 18 month course that gets you the actual knowledge that you need to start working right now. Right. So you get certified with something like that. Start working right now. And then if you really do want to go to college and take the classes that you like. Talk to your boss, talk to an advisor, talk to people that are in the field that know the type of classes that you really need. And only sign up to take those fucking classes and use the money from your job that you have right now and pay for those classes. So when you're done taking classes, you're done getting your certifications or your degrees or whatever. You're at zero. So now you can start fresh. You're done doing your educational shit. Start fresh and start stacking your bread from now. You know what I'm saying? Start investing in your 401k or whatever it is. You can start fresh from now. That's really the way to do it. But like I said, a lot of people get tricked and mesmerized by the glamour of the college experience, the going away, the partying, the fucking with kids, and being able to live that like, oh, I'm away from my parents and I can do what I want lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? That shit is cool, but sitting on your ass for 4 to 6 years will put you in a lot of debt.
That's facts. So Rashidi, anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
Yeah, man, I'll wrap it up. This is a joke I like to tell people. I mean, people don't really find it funny, but then it hits them. When you go to work, ask one of your coworkers, how much did you pay for your job?
Oh
The
my
first
God.
thing that they're gonna ask you is, what are you talking about? Ask them again, how much did you pay for your job? Then they ask them, what are you talking about? Oh, did you go to college? Yeah. So how much did it cost you for this job? Well, I got $50,000 student. How much money you make? $20 an hour. All right, you might want to start rethinking what you're doing. Like that's how I tell people all the time. Ask people how much you pay for your job, because that's what it is. You know what I mean? You paying for the job that you get. You know what I mean? So that's my advice, man. Just take it easy. Don't jump into college. You know what I mean? Unless you're ready. Like Miles said, it's all about just thinking about finding actually something you like, and then trying to get certified in it, and then take it as you go. And in 3, 4, 5 years, when your brain actually matures at 24, 25, now you can make a real grown decision versus I'm just, 18, 19, 20, 21, just living life, haha, and not taking it serious because I don't got the experiences I need, and I'm just making bad decisions all over the place. So that's my message to people.
Right.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So that's what's up, guys. Make sure you guys go to rktappraisals.com and hit up my dude Rashidi. And we are out of here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We see you guys next week, and we are gone. Peace.